Live from the Hey Did You Ever See That studio in downtown Boston, it's showtime.
Hey, did you ever see that studio?
Is that what he said?
Welcome to Hey, did you ever see that movie? I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely little co-host, Delynn.
I have nipples. Could you milk me, Greg?
And joining us again, the podcaster with 1,000 potions, Mikki.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
And last but not least, the podcaster packing heat, Tony 2.0.
I will bring you down. I will bring you down to Chinatown.
This week, if you didn't guess, we will be discussing the 2000 comedy Meet the Parents, written by Greg Focker and Mary Ruth Clark, directed by Jay Roach, starring Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, Blythe Danner, Terry Polo, and Owen Wilson. As always, this podcaster will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, then come back and listen to the podcast. Delynn, run that trailer.
Pam is the one Greg wants to marry.
Just relax, honey. I love you.
But before he can pop the question, he'll have to meet
Hi, Daddy.
the parents.
What are you driving there, Ford?
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting color. You pick it?
Oh, no, the Hertz guy picked it. Why?
No, they say geniuses pick green. But you didn't pick it.
Be nice to this one, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Now he will enter their home.
You know, Greg's in medicine too, Larry.
Oh, really? What field? Nursing.
Not a lot of men in your profession, are there, Greg?
And earn his way
You want to hear a story? I milked a cat once.
A cat?
into the family.
You know, just...
I had no idea you could milk a cat.
Oh, yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Dad?
At least that was the plan.
Hey, it's Greg Focker.
I just feel like this is not going well at all.
We're getting cream, people.
Oh, Florence Nightingale over here to play a little defense. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about him that's a little off.
It's an antique polygraph machine.
Why don't you try that on?
That's okay.
Oh, come on. We'll have some fun.
Greg, my father was never in the rare flower business.
Don't worry. You'll enjoy this. Have you ever watched pornographic videos?
No.
Relax. The needles are jumping.
He was in the CIA for 34 years.
Great. Yeah, I was scared of your dad back when I thought he was a florist.
I'm a patient man. That's what 19 months in a Vietnamese prison camp will do to you. But I will be watching you, studying your every move. And I will bring you down, baby. I will bring you down to Chinatown.
Robert De Niro,
Did you flush this toilet?
Ben Stiller,
No. What's that smell?
Greg flushed the toilet again, so the septic tank is overflowing. No. Not the one!
You're doing great, okay?
in a new comedy from the director of Austin Powers. Meet the Parents.
You big bad CIA man? They teach you that in the CIA? You have another question? Sure, I got one question for you. Do I think you're a psycho? Yes.
That's my future son-in-law.
Can you deal with that?
All right, guys, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share on whatever platform you're listening on because it really helps the algorithm push the show out to people who may not have seen it. Also, if you know somebody that likes a movie, share it with a friend. Maybe they'd enjoy the show. We'd really appreciate it. If you guys would like to help the show out by buying some merch, head over to the merch store at vvr.printify.me. Pick up your shirt, pick up your mug. You can also pick up swag from our sister podcast, Violent Vinyl Radio. So there you go. Next show, we will be doing Kill Bill Volume 2 with original flavor Tony. If you didn't hear us do Kill Bill Volume 1, go over there and check that out. And then join us again for Kill Bill Volume 2. Let's head over to the mailbag.
So we get a message from Ed Contreras 9500 over on YouTube.
What's up, Ed?
he was replying to the Urban Cowboy episode. So he was back. He was back in our
Nice.
backlog.
One of our best episodes.
It was.
Yeah, and he said the 80s were a different time. It's not fair to look at these events through a current lens. Now, I agree, but also we're doing a movie review podcast. If we don't talk about it, what are we doing here? So
Yeah, we got to kind of live in the present day, brother. That's where we are.
It's actually funny because we had got some sort of similar mail over on VVR, people talking about, how sometimes we ask, were these videos too misogynistic? Looking back at them, sure. I mean, everybody's so sensitive now, and everybody has to be okay with everything, or it's just going to hurt our feelings and destroy the fabric of society, right? Fuck. Back in the 80s, the 90s, no. Cherry Pie, the video by Warrant, it's not misogynistic. It's fucking fun. It's not hurting anybody. But when we did the review, we had to say, this feels a little misogynistic today, looking back on it. I still don't have a problem with it, but I can see how some people might. And that goes for a movie like, Urban Cowboy, like when it was made, was it, politically correct? 100%. No problem at all. Today,
oh, I don't know. I mean, he was beating the bag out of Sissy. I mean, I'm not
We
sure.
didn't even
that's
have
then.
political correctness back then. That wasn't even a fucking thought.
Back in the day, that's how a guy would show his wife and family some love. He'd go, he'd make the money, he'd bring home the bacon, he'd have a few beers, and he'd fucking, he'd fucking lay into him a little bit.
Whooping ass. Yeah, wonderful.
Guys got to relax after work.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
Oh, Des.
We also got a comment on our short for Footloose. Literary Llamas commented, I guess Des needs some immersion therapy to get over this. She was talking about the shower scene from Footloose.
Guys, get over and check out that fucking short. That shit is funny. Oh, God. All right. Well, thanks for writing in, guys.
Is Tombstone still our top viewed?
I think so.
Our top viewed and the absolute worst audio, it's terrible. So like for our first 70 episodes or so, we just had no idea how to fucking produce a podcast. We were using like earbuds from like the gas station. I was like editing it on my telephone. Like we have come so far since then. So it's funny when, people go back and listen to those, I kind of cringe a little bit, but we're going to do some rewinds.
Yeah, the first episode we ever did, when he would do the trailers, he would play the trailer on YouTube on his TV and hold his phone up to get the audio.
It's true.
That's how he would get the audio. I was like, dude, you can't. That sounds like shit.
The 60s when Jimi Hendrix was using reverb with the
yes.
amp and the mic next to it, putting the guitar close. Yeah.
Exactly it, Tony. Nice
That's the
reference.
musician in Des. It just won't ever go away,
Nice
man.
reference.
That's it.
Okay, let's do some opening thoughts on this one. I will get us started. So, Meet the Parents. This is either my all-time favorite movie that I've seen hundreds of times, or I've seen it once before this review, and I absolutely hate it. We're going to have to wait to the end to find out. Delynn, have you ever seen this movie?
Yes, I've seen this movie before.
Tony, Meet the Parents.
I have.
Vicky, you ever seen the movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Let's do a little synopsis on this one. Chicago male nurse Greg Focker meets his girlfriend Pam's parents, Jack and Dina, before proposing. But her father, Jack, is an overprotective former CIA agent, hell-bent on busting Greg's balls and painting him as a liar, loser, drug addict.
Gaylord Greg Focker is a male nurse living in Chicago. He intends to propose to his girlfriend, Pam Byrnes, using Pam's school kids to help him pop the question when his plan is disrupted when Pam's sister, Debbie, calls with news of her own engagement. The wedding will be held in 2 weeks at their parents' home on Long Island. Hearing that Debbie's husband-to-be asked Pam's father before proposing, Greg decides to put a pin in it. They travel from Chicago to New York, where the airline insists that Greg check his bag containing the engagement ring, which they promptly lose. Now, as I'm sure that those of you that listen to the podcast with any regularity know, I really hate cringe embarrassment comedy. It's like not my jam. And this movie is a lot of that. Like it's pretty much built on that foundation. That being said, There's a lot of layers to this particular one and not just a bunch of toilet jokes. We meet Greg. He seems to be well liked by his patients and his coworkers. Pam seems like a nice girl, if a bit clueless. And you have a pretty decent setup that this is not going to go well for Greg as we move over to Long Island.
Yeah, so this is a rom-com, comedy, but I'm going to paint a very different picture for you during this podcast, okay? So like you said, Delynn, right from the opening scene, we understand that Greg is a good guy. He's gentle, he's caring, he's thoughtful, he's well-liked by his peers. Now, I have to disagree with you on Pam. At this point, and I want to underline it, at this point in the movie, she also feels like a very caring person. She's intelligent, her students seem to love her. I mean, they seem like a really good fit, right? But this assessment will melt away as the story unfolds. Next, Greg gets down on one knee to propose, right? And he is directing Pam's students behind her to hold up a "Marry Me" sign, just as she gets this phone call where we learn that Pam's father is a gatekeeper and Greg will need to rethink his proposal, right? Next, Greg starts saying, Pam, your kids are trying to tell you something. And she totally dismisses his dire warning, really. What if one of the kids was choking? What if there was a fire? What if there was a kidnapping? This is where we start to see the cracks in this character of Pam. She's dealing with her completely dysfunctional family. And every time this happens, when Pam gets near her family, it's like she's too close to a microwave with a fucking steel plate in her head. And finally...
What happens then?
She fucking pisses her pants.
What does her head get magnetically drawn into the microwave?
I actually got that from Cousin Eddie in Vegas Vacation. Finally, we get some important scenes before we meet the parents, actually. First, Greg has lost his bag. This setup will pay off over and over again in this movie. And this movie is actually really good at giving us setups that are going to pay off 1, 2, 3 times, and they're always good. Next, Greg and Pam discuss Greg's present, the bulb of a Jerusalem tulip. This is an extremely thoughtful gift. And again, this is setting him up as a very thoughtful guy. Honestly, Greg is the best case scenario if you're an overprotective father or just any father meeting your daughter's new boyfriend for the first time. This is the guy you want your daughter to bring home. He's sweet, he's a professional, he's thoughtful, he's just a good guy, right, Tony?
No, absolutely not, dude. Greg is a turd of the highest order. Greg is an asshole who gets sucked into peer pressure. He was going to do the right thing. It was cute with the kids. They were going to arrange the sign. They were going to get engaged. It was going to be great. But you know what Greg does? Greg hears about what other people are doing, and Greg decides he has to put himself in their shoes. Instead of being an individualist and being rugged and fucking doing his own thing, he's a pussy. He gets sucked into their family's bullshit. He should tell that guy, look, motherfucker, I'm in charge of me. You're not in charge of me. Shove off. Me and the daughter, we're going out and getting some. We're going to live our lives. We don't need you. We don't live in your town. We're not doing your thing. Whatever. But no, I got to play the game. I'm going to go see the old man. I'll be nice. Blah, 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 blah. Give me a break, Greg. Grow a set.
Mikki.
That's all I got to say about that.
How did you see Greg?
Wow.
Focker? What did you think about Greg?
Damn. I thought Greg was kind of a pussy. I agree with Tony that he did kind of succumb to peer pressure. And no offense, but Pam is a little bit of a douche because she's like, oh, my dad doesn't know you smoke. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and by the way, blah, 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 blah. It's like, does your father even know about anything about your life? It's like she's leading this double life and her dad can't know any of it. So she's kind of a douchebag. I feel like she's playing both sides in this thing.
100%.
So
100%.
But I think Greg is a little bit of a wimp. And I understand wanting to please the dad.
At what cost is the question?
Yeah, exactly. I don't watching this. I don't really like, what did you say? Cringy kind of, what'd you say?
Cringe comedies. Yeah. Cringe embarrassment comedy.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. Although I do like Jim Carrey, but
that's a little bit more of the slapsticky.
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was originally cast as Greg Focker when this was tied to Steven Spielberg.
Correct.
And when Spielberg walked away, Jim Carrey walked away.
Yeah, I feel like Greg was kind of a wimp.
Tony, perfect thing you just said, though, was at what cost? And that's right. At what cost? At the cost of his self-respect. At the cost of Pam's respect for him. At the cost of everybody in this movie's respect for him. He turns himself into a doormat, but it's much darker than that. It's much darker than that.
At the Byrnes' house, Greg meets Pam's father, Jack, and her mother, Dina, and their beloved cat, Mr. Jinx, just like our little Mr.
We've
Jinx.
got a cat named Mr. Jinx, and the back of his tail is all black, just like the real Mr. Jinx.
Is that because you spray painted it?
Yes.
Yes. I figured. Okay.
Jack is immediately suspicious of Greg and openly criticizes him for his choice of career as a nurse and anything else he sees as a weakness, like the green car. He seems unimpressed by the rare flower Greg gives him, despite being, quote-unquote, a retired florist. Jack reveals he has started a business to sell hidden motion-activated camera equipment for surveillance needs in the house because you can't trust anyone. When Jack claims he needs to go to the store for more Collins mix after dumping the mix down the sink, Pam insists Greg go with him to get some toiletries since his luggage is still missing. On the way there, Jack plays his favorite song, Puff the Magic Dragon, and Greg tries to joke around about it being about smoking weed, and Jack is having none of it. He starts to think that Greg is a pothead. While at the store, Greg sees Jack speaking to a strange man and collecting some documents. All right. So I can't say that before seeing this movie, I ever thought of Robert De Niro as a comedic actor. But he crushes it here. I think this came out right after Analyze This, and he was funny in that, but he was still playing a gangster, I think, in that. So, like, it still was kind of on brand. And I guess you can kind of call Midnight Run a comedy, but it's not this kind of comedy. It's a different kind of comedy.
Right. And he had a lot of help in those other two films. He's got people to play off of with Billy Crystal and Charles Grodin. And here, poor Greg is not helpful. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
No. He's the lovable loser. And this is kind of an archetype that Stiller tends to play, at least in this, in this time of his career. It was the lovable loser. It was Something About Mary. It was this. It was pretty much always this kind of archetype. But he's got it dialed in for this one. So I can't complain.
So this is where the movie turns into a borderline psychological thriller. They pull up to the house.
What?
Oh, yeah. They pull up to the house.
Right.
And Pam, with fear in her eyes, tells Greg her father will take his smoking as a sign of weakness as she throws his cigarettes onto the roof, which will, again, pay off later. And then...
But who does that?
She does, because her father's a
fucking
obviously,
psycho. But it's like ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's beyond compare. Even to the point where he comments, "Yeah, that was a great place to put those." Kind of like, what are you thinking?
Well, he says, I'll leave him in the car. And she goes, no, he'll look there, which means he's going to search their rental car.
Again.
Like, that's a psychopath.
This is where it becomes a psychological fucking thriller. She is now, you change the music here. Oh, the father's looking out the window, peering. She has to hide the cigarettes. He's going to check. Oh my God. Psychological thriller. Now let's talk about these initial interactions, okay? The initial ones. First, Pam nervously tells Greg she lied about telling her dad they lived together just before this bizarre scene of her and her father engaging in this ultra weird, almost ritualistic greeting where she's got her legs wrapped around him. And her mother's talking to her like, your little baby, and daddy, and short stack, and they're gripping each other and twirling. I mean, this looks like a guy coming home from war to his wife. It's fucking insane. All the while, Greg is standing there alone by the car waiting to be included in this introduction. And he has this look on his face. It's like, it's worried. He knows now. He's like, uh-oh, this isn't normal. Like, what is going on? Then Greg tries to give Dina a hug, and she reacts like he's got like a cold sore on his lip and a booger on his face. She's like, And then Jack starts an immediate with the insults. Geniuses pick green, but you didn't pick it. Like, what the fuck? And then it gets worse. Next, we get the sit-down meeting in the living room over Tom Collins. And this is where things get ultra weird. Now, Jack and Dina, they know that Greg is under the impression that Jack is a retired florist, right? So when he gives them this super thoughtful gift of the Jerusalem tulip, and they basically just take a shit on it. They take a shit on this present. They're like, fuck you. We'll look forward to that, Greg. Right? And then fucking it follows up by Dina fucking insulting him. Yes, is that better than a nurse? Fuck you, Dina. The fuck is that supposed to mean? No, it's not better than a fucking nurse. You know, and then Jack demasculizes him in front of Pam and fucking Dina, pointing out that nurses are traditionally women. Then Jack tells everybody in the room that the house is under 24-hour surveillance. Everywhere you are, we'll be watching you through hidden cameras.
That's not creepy.
And we see Dina make this scared face, almost like she's crying out for help, blinking, SOS, help me. Like she looks like a shattered woman at this moment. Finally,
is she a prisoner of war?
She's a prisoner of Jack Byrnes, psychopath.
Prisoner of Jack.
Finally, we get the trip to the store. First, Jack profiles Greg as a pothead through the use of Puff the Magic Dragon, which I submit was done intentionally. He had that. He specifically had that so we could play it and see what Greg would say. He's playing Greg like a fucking fiddle. Next, we hear Day by Day playing in the drugstore, which will again pay off later. It's fucking great, and it may pay off in my alternate ending.
Hint.
And finally, when Jack catches Greg looking at the breast pumps, I always wondered to myself why Greg didn't just say, yeah, we use them in the paternity ward at the hospital. Like, this is like what we use. End of story. Instead, he fucking starts talking about a farm. What the fuck is wrong with him, Tony?
Yeah, Greg can't help himself. He's just ridiculously stupid. He has no ability to think on his feet whatsoever. Like you very well pointed out. My difference too is that rather than shut up, because let's be real, if you're being questioned, the less you offer, the less you have to be thrown back against you. He just can't shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? He's rambling on about shit that means nothing and goes nowhere. And, you know, you're just better off saying yes or no, right? Don't give him any information. None of it is contiguous to what you were asked. Shut up. But
this is the cop coming out in Tony. He's like, you're giving too much information.
But come on, dude. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, be quiet, right? Just admit your fucking, flaws. As you said, right off the bat, he should know he's the outsider, right? He's definition of outsider here. They're doing, as you said, a ritualistic kind of greeting thing. And he's standing there with his dick in his hand going, la, 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 waiting for the introduction. It's, you had to know this going in. This is not uncommon, right? These people have
what?
Des,
if I show up to this house and that's the introduction,
maybe other than you, who had a slightly altered childhood, but everybody has their certain ways about them because of the fact that the human experience is unique to each person.
No. Tony, you pull up to some girl's house you've been dating for 6 months, and this is what you see. This is where I am. Well, I'm glad I could drive you home. I hope that you guys enjoy your fucking weekend together. I'm leaving.
Okay, well, then you're just as bad as Greg. He's at least brave enough to stand there and take the heat. The difference is that if you love this girl and you have to understand that you're going there, you're subjecting yourself to this punishment, if you will, because you volunteered for this shit. Your dumbass wanted daddy's approval. Fuck you. Now take your medicine and shut the fuck up. Okay? You signed the fucking contract. Now you got to live the deed, right? And the best part too is that, how do we really come to grips with this? What did he think it was going to be? The fucking Brady Bunch? I mean, everybody's weird. Everybody's different. Everybody's doing their own thing. Do you think the guy was just going to hug this fucking dude and go, bro, welcome to the family. I love you, man.
No. But I don't expect the mother to be like, oh, is that better than a nurse? Like, fuck you.
Well, she's a little clueless, but let's be real. She's of that archetype. Go ahead.
Can I make a comment? Like, what the fuck was up with the mother anyway? Because she was a clueless space case. It was like he beat her when no one else was looking. Like,
well, wait a minute. Yes and no, because she, just like Jack Byrnes, is sharp with wit when she needs to be and not when she isn't.
I thought she was a
'Cause she plays
fucking
dumb.
airhead.
Hang on, she plays dumb in the first few scenes, but if you remember, she defends Greg down the way, right? She does try to take his side a little bit because she sees that although he's trying desperately to fit in, everything that Greg touches turns to dog shit. So she's not, the devil.
No, she's not the devil, but she's really spacey.
Well, and according to Des, Jack is a psychopath and he's hell-bent on killing poor Greg before he lets him in the family because he's...
Not killing him,
Well,
but,
you know what I
but,
mean.
Smudging his name and just...
I think Dean is on lorazepam.
You should have taken my lorazepam. I slept like a corpse.
Yeah, it's definitely
Thank
possible.
you.
She's got a mother's little helper.
Delynn, you nailed it. She is definitely on medication because she's been living with this psychopath for so long.
You also have to consider if so obviously I haven't said it in the write-up yet, but he was a retired FBI agent. So that means, or CIA, whatever it is, he's gone for long periods of time, probably, weeks at a time. She's probably been in that house by herself, doing her own thing, doing her, housewifey stuff. And then he retires and he's up her ass. And she's probably like double lorazepam.
Yeah.
If a little is good, more is better.
She can't make a move in that house without him knowing what it is. He's watching her at all times. You know, what if she wants an alone
But I
minute
don't
with
think
her-
she really cares, right? Because she's been around.
No,
she's
no.
been around Jack. They're that stereotypical couple where they've been married 30 odd years. They know each other inside and out. There's nothing that they do separate from one another. I mean,
Everybody does shit separate from Delynn. Do you do separate things sometimes
okay, but
when I'm
wait a
not
minute.
around? Wink,
Des,
wink.
we've got a group
Yeah.
of people in 2000. They're filming this, and they were probably married 30 years before that. So they were married in the late 60s. Okay, wholly different era. We were pooping in a diaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're
Were people punching the munchkin in the 60s? Because if they were, you need alone time without Jack's camera on you.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't have one in the can.
At dinner, Jack puts Greg, a good Jewish boy, on the spot when he asks him to say grace.
Not like he's a
After
rabbi.
After fumbling through a prayer, they share an uncomfortable meal where Jack continues to prod at Greg. He digs at the fact that he caught Greg reading an article about breast pumps, and Greg comes back with a fake story about milking cats. Greg learns that Pam was once engaged to her former boyfriend, Kevin, which she had not told him before. The terrible dinner culminates in Greg accidentally breaking the urn containing the remains of Jack's mother when he opens a bottle of champagne. To add insult to injury, Jinx the cat goes potty in said ashes. Later, Greg is banished to the downstairs den when Jack interrupts him and Pam together in her room. In the den, Greg finds a secret door with spy equipment and photos that suggest Jack wasn't a florist. He becomes even more uncomfortable after he receives an impromptu lie detector test from Jack and later learns from Pam that Jack is a retired CIA operative. The humor in these scenes is so quick-witted and the jokes come so fast, it's hard to keep up almost. Like, things are happening, like they're telling jokes, they're talking about milking cats in Detroit on a farm and the urn is breaking and breast pumps. It just happens so fast. It's a carousel of discomfort, as I like to call it. And usually that would have me running for the hills. I really dislike that, but it's so clever here. And it's really fantastic writing that I can't complain.
Yeah, I love this dinner scene. It's iconic. Everybody knows it. First we get the revelation that Pam was engaged, right? So this is important. Followed by, like I said, and you said, great comedy. We have these lines. I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? He reads this fucking poem he wrote about his mother that is just ridiculous. The cancer, marching on like a rebel force. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. And then Greg is going to hand out some instant karma to Jack, some overdue karma, where he's going to take out Jack's mother. It's fucking great, man. This thing smashes on the ground. Mr. Jinx goes over. He takes a piss on it. We get the fucking money shot of the cat fucking looking up at the cameras. It's fucking pissing on his mother's ashes. It's fucking great. I absolutely love this scene. Next up in the bedroom, Pam is going to expand on her former fiance, Kevin, by telling Greg that their relationship was built around amazing hot sex in his giant unit. Like, okay. Then Greg, knowing there's cameras set up everywhere in the house, thinks it's a good idea to bang Pam in the bedroom right next door to his fucking new fucking in-laws. His new fucking potential in-laws. This is getting weirder by the minute. He is literally right down the hall from fucking Jack and Dina's room, and he's trying to bang Pam. Like, what's he think? He's gonna fucking, like, the bed's gonna be squeaking. She's gonna, like, what is going on here? This is fucking fever dream shit. Finally, we get the lie detector scene. First off, we see pictures of Jack with presidents in foreign countries, spy outfits. This is going to add to the psychological angle of this movie even more. Because at this point, we don't know that Jack is a fucking CIA agent. We just know that he's super weird. Everything is super Twilight Zone crazy. And now we stumbled into this fucking, like, lair, I want to call it. We don't know what he's doing there. Is this guy John Wayne Gacy? I don't know. But anyway, he stumbles into this. And then Pam comes downstairs to Greg's room, telling him that Jack is, in fact, a retired spy hunter, right? And then again, knowing 100% that there are cameras in this den, she tries to engage Greg in sex again. Now, we know Greg could hear Dina and Jack through the vent, right? Because this is what gets him to stumble into the room. So he knows that they can hit, like, these walls are paper thin. And she's trying to bang him in this den. We know at the end of the movie that he picks a little fucking Chachi up off the shelf and talks into it in the den that he's in at this moment. I mean, does he want to make a porno for her father? Because that's what they're fucking suggesting here. It's completely unhinged. I'm a horny guy, but there is no way I'm trying to bang Pam in this house. There's no way. Tony.
That's weak. But anyway, I know you would try. Anyway, yeah, I think unfortunately, Delynn, I'll agree with you. I think there was some good comedy. The problem is that it feels contrived because it's so over the top for me. I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, fair. But it's the kind of thing where, because it's so kind of Three Stooges style, I don't want to say slapstick, but it's the idea that, anything that can go wrong will go wrong at the cost of poor Greg here. He could fuck up a 1-car funeral in this deal. He buys the $13 champagne at the Oyster Bay drugstore. What'd you expect? I wanted some Tattingers at $100 a bottle. Dude, it's a drugstore. Come on. So
you can buy a whole bunch of mums.
Yeah, right.
I love that character.
Even the scenes in the bedroom, I give Greg credit because let's be real, he's shown us a little something here. He's gonna put a move on, the fiance. Granted, is it ill-advised? Of course it is. It's fucking ridiculously ill-advised. But that's what Greg does in this movie. Everything he does is ridiculously ill-advised. Telling horseshit stories made up about living on a farm in Detroit and milking cats. Fuck me running, dude. You could come up with a better lie if you were playing that game where they give you little fragments of a sentence and you have to string them together into cohesive thoughts. But, and then her kind of retribution downstairs where she decides to be, a little aggressive with him. I think at this point, she just figures, fuck it. I can't get in any trouble. What's Daddy going to do? He loves me. I can exploit him. Dad will just blame Greg again because Greg is the punching bag for everything, right? Greg is always at fault in this film. And it's funny because between De Niro and those beautiful facial expressions that he's absolutely incredible with. I mean, he speaks volumes, not by speaking, but by the looks on his face. The way he winces or turns his head or eyeballs him or side eyes him, just perfect shit. And then once we meet some of the other members of the family, holy fuck. You want to know how Custer felt?
Oh, yeah.
That poor fucking Greg is Custer with all them goddamn Indians because this whole family's on his ass. They are riding him like a redheaded fucking stepchild, like a rented mule. Totally. But anyway, I got a little ahead of myself. Yeah, poor Greg, you almost feel bad for him, but he's such a bumbling moron. You're like, dude, you did this to yourself.
Holy shit, dude. I don't know, man. It's fucking Mikki. Do you think what's gonna happen if fucking they start screwing?
Well, first of all, I love that he's wearing her robe and he's trying to get sexy and he's wearing her robe. That just was like, really, dude?
Hey, it's comfortable.
While she's talking about her ultra alpha male ex-boyfriend, Kevin.
She's kind of a twit, to be honest with you. But I think the dinner scene.
Dear, if I can interrupt you really quickly, all the females in this movie are wicked passive aggressive. I don't want to say like in real life, but everybody takes advantage of poor Greg here. That's the whole plot, is that he gets the shit in the stick every time he turns around. So she's just filling in for what mom does. Mom flip-flops back and forth, and so does she, because Greg is the punching bag.
I literally gasped when he broke the urn. I was like, oh no! And then the cat, come on. That was something to me out of like a National Lampoon Vacation movie.
Yes.
Totally.
Especially for a cat that supposedly pees in the toilet.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
training.
well, but Dina does say that, the cat is, Jones into fucking dig, squat, and bury in all her plants. So he's looking for.
Yeah, they took away
some
that
dirt
thing that's that instinct of squatting and burying.
Yeah. So when he saw Mrs. Byrnes laying there in a pile of litter.
And then the scene in the lie detector scene, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it was part of the plot. But like, why Greg didn't just be fucking honest, dude. Like, the worst that can happen is the guy's gonna say, I don't like you, and he's gonna say, well, guess what, your daughter does. So
yeah, I'm 35 years old. Yeah, I've seen porn before.
Right. It was kind of that was a little cringy scene. That was a cool room though. Like, I like how it had like the little brick archway.
That's my wife. Right. She's checking out the architecture. She could give a fuck about the plot.
I got my first tattoo in Dorchester, a room that looked just like that on a weight bench.
What do? They made the tattoo gun out of the motor from a fucking tape recorder and a piano wire, or what?
I have had those tattoos, but this one was professionally done. Mikki, wouldn't it have been, if I had been Greg, I would have said, listen, Jack, I say we do this, but you go first.
Right.
So, Jack, you ever watch porno? Jack, do you beat your wife? Jack, you a psycho?
Wow. Jackie.
Don't
get me started, Jackie.
Questions.
You stay away from those guitar players. They're all bad.
Stay away from those ex-CIA agents, Jackie.
Oh, my God.
Meeting the rest of Pam's family and friends, Greg still feels like an outsider as Debbie's fiancé and his parents are all doctors. Since his luggage still has not arrived, Pam sends Greg up to Denny's room to get some clothing. The youngest son has been out on the roof smoking weed, and he tells Greg to keep his mouth shut and gives him some clothes. Later at the tuxedo shop, Denny tries to retrieve his glass pipe from the jacket he lent Greg, only to have Jack catch him. He lies and says it's Greg's, and Jack grills Greg and threatens him that if he lies to him, he will remove him from the circle of trust. Later, Greg is taken aback when he learns that Kevin is Bob's best man and is hosting them for the BBQ lunch. Kevin is super successful financially and spends time showing off. Kevin invites everyone for a dip in the pool and loans Greg his Speedo, which is a tad inappropriate for a family setting. Greg unintentionally gives Debbie a broken nose and a black eye during a pool volleyball game, uses a malfunctioning toilet which floods the Byrnes' backyard with sewage, and sets the wedding altar on fire, which was built by Kevin when he lets Jinxie out of the house and was trying to catch him. Later, Greg replaces Jinx with a stray whose tail he spray paints to make him look like Jinx. While at dinner, the fake Jinx eats some nicotine gum and destroys all the wedding supplies, including Debbie's dress. So I know that Des is kind of playing up the Byrnes are horrible people, they're psychopaths angle, and it's funny. And he's not wrong, but I also submit that Greg is not doing himself any favors. Spray painting a cat and passing it off as Jinx is shitty, no matter how hard you're trying to impress his family. He's legitimately up on the roof smoking a cigarette, and he sends it on fire and then kicks down the fucking gutter, and it sets the yard on fire, and the chuppah, the altar goes up in fire. He's not doing himself any favors. He's just not. Also, Denny, Pam telling him to go upstairs and get clothes from Denny, he makes a great point. You want me to go upstairs and tell a guy who I've never met that I need some of his clothes? Like, you can't go up there with me and knock on the door and be like, hey, Denny, can you lend my boyfriend some clothes? And she's like making a face like, just do it. And I was like,
you fucking dick.
Just do it.
Yeah, Delynn, you're right. This is where Pam becomes a weirdo deluxe from this moment on, right? And she becomes a borderline antagonist to Greg. She almost becomes as much of an antagonist as Jack is going forward here. First, like you said, she's going to let Greg sleep in. This is going to be a problem for Jack. It's going to be a problem for everybody. And she knows it. Then she wants him to go up to the black door with the fucking go away fucking doormat and ask her fucking completely demented psycho brother, like the brother from the movie Get Out by Kid and Peele, right? Like, that's who this kid is. He's a fucking psychopath.
Kid and Play.
Kid and Play, Key and Peele.
Hey, Aaron, where are you? Where is Aaron right now? You done messed up, Aaron!
And then he goes into the fucking kitchen for breakfast, and they're grilling him about being a fucking nurse, and they ask him, so why didn't you take the MCATs? And he's trying to explain because more patient care, and he's in mid thought, and Dina's like, shut up. Oh, by the way, fucking Dr. Kevin isn't coming to the wedding, and he's like, I was fucking talking, you bitch. He was in mid-sentence, and she bulldozes him as if fucking who the fuck cares? And then fucking, oh, Greg will be your other offer. Yeah. That fucking loser. Like, Dr. Bob is like, fuck you. I don't want this guy at my wedding. Now, this is probably the most demented section of the movie right here. We get the party at Kevin's house, right? And things get even darker here. First, Pam drops the bomb that this is Kevin's house. Like, as they're pulling in, she's going to let him know this is Kevin's house. Like, this information might have been fucking useful back in Chicago. Like, you want to come to this wedding? I just want to tell you first that, like, my ex-fiance is the fucking groom's best man, and we're going to be hanging around with him all weekend and going to his house. No, this is going to get fucking conveyed to poor Greg in the driveway. Next, the pictures of Pam and Kevin horseback riding, doing jumping out of airplanes. They're all over the piles. This is telling us that Kevin has not moved on from this relationship yet, and the scab is not even off the wound yet, right? Next, we get this ultra weird scene when Kevin is showing off the altar, and Pam says, wow, Kev. And they lock eyes. And they have this weirdly romantic moment right in front of fucking Greg. Like, she wants to step up on that fucking altar and say, I do, as she stares into Kevin's eyes. Then Kevin says to Greg, we had some good times. She's a real tomcat. As he stares into like a sexual moment when he's like drilling her somewhere. And Greg literally has to like shake him out of it. Like, dude, stop. Like, what are you doing here? Next in the pool, Kevin and Pam are playing grab ass and using pet names. Maverick, Goose, ugh. Then Pam starts with the insults when Kevin says, Glenn, don't be afraid of the ball. And Pam says, Greg's the little bitch that's afraid of the ball, not Glenn. Greg. Like, And finally back at Jack's house, even though it's the middle of the day and her sister's injured, and everybody is there setting up, Pam corners Greg in the den because she's obviously still all horned up from playing grab ass with Kevin in the pool, and she wants sex now. She's like, Greg, let's do some role playing. You be Kevin and I'll be me. Come on, Maverick. This turns into a total psycho fucking movie. And Greg takes the bait and gets caught with his hand up her shirt by literally everybody. Dude, this is now a train in a pile of fire by the side of the tracks. I don't even know what the fuck I'm watching now. Mikki, would you agree that Pam is horned up from hanging out with fucking Kevin all day, and that's why she attacks him in the den at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when everyone is home for sex?
Fucking A. I mean, you walk into someone's house and clearly you see that they're still obsessed with you. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those pictures were creepy, first of all. And the fact that she's just like, la, 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 like, she's going to be just like her mother when she gets older. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, but Mikki, wasn't she flirting
She totally
with
was.
Kevin the entire
She absolutely was. and then was acting like it was not a big deal. Like, oh, haha. Like, and then when you think about it, she literally said to Greg, the day before, oh, it was purely sexual between he and I.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
Oh, okay. I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah, like, and then how is she getting on Kevin's team in the pool? Shouldn't she be on Greg's team? And shouldn't Greg have said to Kevin, hey, Kevin, before I put these fucking shorts on that you fucking deem appropriate for me, why don't we switch? Why don't you give me your shorts and I'll give you these? You're telling me you don't have a fucking man-sized pair of shorts in this $5 million mansion, you cocksucker. Tony.
Des, I think you're going to need a couple of Xanax because you're going to have a fucking cardiac, bro. But I love your passion. I'm gonna flip the script on you here, and I'm going to say that
you are.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I do, bro. That's what I do.
Greg,
I'm your,
I
am your foil.
Got that blowjob in front of his kids.
I am your foil. No, number one, I'm not going to defend Pam. Pam's a little randy. She's a little randy, but that's okay. That's going to work out for Greg later in the relationship, because let's be real, if the sex is no good, what's the rest of it going to be worth? So I digress. I'm going to tell you this, that Owen Wilson is the only nice person to Greg in the whole movie. So as weird as he is, he's valuable because he treats Greg with respect, whereas everybody else is giving Greg a raft of shit.
I mean, does he though? Look at those.
Yeah,
the
I think he does.
suit.
Well, he's a little weird, but he's very decent. He's very open. Suit. He's welcoming. Well, okay, the bathing suit, but you know what? Again, Greg doesn't fucking push back. He stares at it. He's looking at it. He's building up the nerve to say, I'm going to wear this. Fuck you. Grow a set. Go out there and go, I'm sorry, this is substandard. I need some fucking man-sized shit, not this fucking banana hammock from fucking Saint-Tropez. This is bullshit. So, but Greg is not smart. He doesn't help himself. He just keeps digging fucking ditches that they're going to bury him in later. And then, the classic in the pool where they're giving him shit, saying he's afraid of the ball. What does he do? Yeah. He comes up and he slams the spike straight into the bride's face. You know what? Next time, fucking defend yourself. He should have said, well, what's the problem?
He definitely succumbed to peer pressure growing up, because, I mean, look at the way he caved at every chance.
Yeah, but then again, it's necessary because unfortunately the comedy hinges on all of this rigmarole, right? Because it's contrived. It's so poor. A lot of times, you see the joke coming half an hour before it fucking hits you because they've done the setup for it. So, but you got to go with it in the film because of the idea that one thing I will say, I'm not a Ben Stiller fan per se, but he does pass it off fairly well as this guy who just, he's going for it. He's going to try to conform to these weird norms that they've given him, right? The hyper competitiveness, the weird kind of cliquey behavior that they're all engaged in. Because all of these people have grown up with each other. They know their ins and outs. He is still this outsider guy who's got to find a way in, into Jack's little circle of trust or into the family or into the good graces of whatever, right? Even the outsiders in the family. Like I said, I think Owen Wilson was the only person that treated him with a little decency.
But Tony, in the first half an hour that he meets Kevin, what is it? Greg's a nurse from Jack. Kevin, oh really? That's so sweet. I'd love to find some time to do some charity work. That's not nice. Hey, Greg, here's some women's underwear to wear in the pool. That's not nice. Fucking, this guy is shitting on him. Greg, don't be afraid of the ball, you little bitch. Hey, Iceman. Yeah, Maverick.
Okay, wait a minute. Number one, I don't think Owen Wilson says that. I think that was the doctor that is the groom.
No, he says that. What about the nurse?
Says that?
Oh yeah, in the kitchen.
I apologize. Then I've got it.
No,
I've got it sideways.
I saw a golden retriever with a little limp, and I just wish there was something I could do. I wish I could find time to do some charity work like that. And Greg goes, well, it does feel good, but I also get paid. He's like, oh, how's your portfolio? Like he's just a cunt.
Well, all right, Des, you're a painter. If you're talking to another guy at the trades, that's different, right? If you're an investment advisor, that's what you talk about. You talk about the only things you know, unless you're Greg, and then you talk about nonsense bullshit you made up 5 fucking minutes before that.
You don't have to call his work fucking volunteer work though. So at the tuxedo shop, Denny lies to Jack when he's caught red-handed with the pipe, right? And Jack, the human lie detector, believes him. I submit that Jack knew right away that's Denny's pipe, but he's sandbagging his interrogation to stack the deck against Greg and paint him as a drug addict. Jack is doing this throughout the movie. So when Jack wants the truth, and the truth is going to incriminate Greg, he is top-notch spy hunter. He's a human lie detector, right? But when the truth is going to clear Greg's name, not so much. The lie detector's broken right now. He's fucking Jack knows everything in the whole movie. Everything. He chooses when to acknowledge the truth and chooses when to ignore the truth. He's a fucking scumbag psycho. Next, Greg serves up some revenge on Kevin by torching his fucking altar. First of all, as a painter, there is a lot of fucking lacquer on that fucking thing. It is a fire hazard, okay? And finally, we get the rise and demise of Greg in an act of desperation, and I don't think this is a good thing to do. You should never do this. But he subs in a decoy cat till he can find the real Jinx. And then we get this weird, like, fever dream Twilight Zone episode at the restaurant where Kevin is sad and he's at the table alone and everybody loves Greg. Yay, Greg! They're all clapping and his jokes are, I'm going to go to the bathroom fairy. Ha ha ha! Bathroom fairy. This is Greg has now fallen asleep in the den and he's dreaming this, which it should have been. This should have been a dream sequence, but it's not. They're going to interject it as a real time happening, right? Before anybody knows that Hank McAvey has fucking left a voicemail for Jack letting him know that Jinx is over there at the restaurant. Before anybody knows that, they're driving home and the mood changes. All of a sudden, Larry is back to calling Greg Focker. Like I don't understand what happened. They were all loving him and then they all turn on him. They get back to the house, and it's bad news for Greg. Yeah. You guys want to elaborate on that?
I'm watching the looks of pain on Tony's face as you're going through all this.
I will say that in this movie, Ben Stiller did a good job at this point of making me feel a little bad for him, but he didn't really do a lot to help himself when you think about it. And I really just think that overall, throughout, like as soon as he gets there to up to now, this family is just a bunch of bullies.
Yeah,
I really think. I think they
friends.
What?
And friends, family and friends, all bullies.
Yeah. Total bullies, and I think that they're really good at. I don't want to say psychological warfare, but they're really good at the passive aggressive. I'm going to make you feel welcome, but make you feel like shit at the same time. And so I do kind of feel a little bad for Greg, at this point, because he really trying to race them home. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like he's just give it up.
But that's only because he knows he fucking lied, cheated, and stole. And it's all going to come unraveled. So now he's put himself in this precarious fucking spot because he's a dipshit.
Because Jack says to him, Jinx is going to show you his new tricks tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's it. Greg knows his thing's bust.
Yeah, the jig is up.
Go ahead, Mikki, Tony. You both made a good point, though. He's not doing himself any favors, right?
No.
So I submit this. Right off the get, right? They get to the house. Jack pulls the bullshit. Geniuses pick green. If fucking Greg had just fired back something funny and been like, haha, it's funny, I'm actually wearing green underwear. I'm just messing with you, Jack. And gives him a whack on the shoulder, Let's go inside. They're doing the fucking, the lie detector test. Do you ever watch fucking pornographic material? Yeah, I'm not 12. 35. Like, I don't hang out in peep shows and fucking, drag the mop across the floor when I'm done. But sure, I've seen some porn.
Right.
You ever watch you ever smoke weed? Of course. I went to college. I've smoked a joint before. Hasn't everybody? Like, he talks like that. And I think Jack forms respect for him. Right? He's lying.
Right. And the sad part is he picks the absolute worst times to tell lies because they're so piss poor. Because he just, I don't know if it's a lack of wit or it's the idea that it's just a central kind of theme in the movie, but it's the idea that when there's a time to tell a fib, he fucks it up and doesn't. And then when there is an opportunity to put himself in hot water, he tells these outlandish fucking stories that just, they're so bad. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Shut up.
But don't you think he would have gained Jack's, respect if he had given him some straight answers, even if they weren't the answers that Jack wanted to hear?
Absolutely, because let's be real, a guy that does polygraphy is going to respect it, right? He comes to believe that people are going to bullshit him, and he's trying to find that. Versus the other way around, where if he gets flat lines, he's going to be impressed with the kid and go, the guy's not trying to snow me. He's a straight shooter.
Yeah, did you think the roast was undercooked? Of course. It was fucking bleeding all over the plate like a fucking open heart surgery.
And you can see Jack nodding his head like, yeah, this kid's spot on there. Because he asked him that question because it was the truth.
Yeah, are you living with my daughter? Come on, Jack. I think we both know the answer to that question. You gotta just fucking play into it.
Yeah.
Right, but he's just not that character. You know what I mean?
He's
Poor
not.
Greg is just, he doesn't have it. You know what I mean? And the worst part, too, is if he was a really nice guy, you could say, oh, he's just this bumbling nice guy and we should like him. But he's not, because he does dumb things. He's just a shitty decision maker. When he should make a left, he makes a right. And when he should go forward, he...
And then that's quite literally, you are supposed to take that left, fucker.
Yeah. And then the best part is somehow he still manages to come in very quickly right after the car arrives. They're not even out of the car, and then he's pulling in the driveway. I'm like, well, he made good time regardless.
After the reveal of the fake jinx and desperate to save himself, Greg reveals he has seen Jack engaging in some secret activity with some shady characters, and that Jack is planning a secret mission after the wedding. Jack angrily reveals that the secret mission was a surprise honeymoon for Debbie and her fiancé Bob, and Greg realizes he's only dug himself into a deeper hole. By now, the entire Byrnes family, including Pam, agrees that it's best for Greg to go back home. At the airport, Greg is detained by airport security for insisting that his luggage stay with him rather than being checked. Back at the Byrnes' house, Jack attempts to convince Pam that Greg was lying to her about everything. He claims to be unable to find records of anyone named Greg Focker ever taking the MCATs, which Greg claimed he had passed. Upon learning that Greg's real name is Gaylord and being presented with proof from Pam that he did in fact pass the test, being told off by Dina over his consistent picking apart of any man Pam brings home, and hearing Pam make a heartfelt call to Greg, Jack realizes that Pam truly loves Greg. He rushes to the airport and convinces airport security to release him. As Greg is proposing to Pam, Jack and Dina listen in on their conversation from the other room, agreeing that they should now meet Greg's parents, though they are both visibly worried at this. After Debbie's wedding, Jack views footage of Greg recorded by hidden camera that he had placed strategically around the house, in which Greg calls Jack a psycho and mocks him and exposes Denny as the true marijuana user. So they tie this up pretty quickly, with Jack accepting Greg to the point of sitting and holding his hand at the wedding, which was really weird for me. But I do love the scene at the very end of Jack watching the security tape, revealing that Greg is at fault for the septic snafu and basically calling out both Jack and Denny on their bullshit. So I was okay with it. Even though he's doing it in absentia, he's already back in Chicago by then. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So Jack is watching this final message from Greg on the camera that was placed on the mantle in Greg's room.
Yes.
So what else is Jack watching if they go all the way those two times? Right?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Dude. So the final act is so creepy. First, I have a question. What happens to the decoy cat, Mr. Jinx? He gets out. What's he? Stray cat? No, that's it. Hey, see you later. Thanks. Thanks for participating.
Well,
Good
he
luck
was in the shelter to begin with, so I guess he's just going back home.
Next, everyone gangs up on Greg to the point I feel like he's in danger. Like Larry's unhinged now. He's ready to start throwing punches. Like he just is. They have to hold him back. Like Greg is about to get a Donnybrook. They're about to jump on him and fuck him up. Pam just stands there and watches the abuse. Doesn't say anything. Fuck it. She gets in on it. Then we get the revelation that Greg's name is actually Gaylord. Again, Everybody starts dunking on him. What's up, gay fucker? You gay fucker. And what does Pam do? She just watches again, doesn't say anything. And she ultimately just lets him drive off without her. If I am Greg, I am going straight home. I am moving out. I am getting a restraining order against Pam and her whole fucking, the movie fucking Get Out, strange psycho family. Dude, this family and these people are a fucking horror movie, and there's no fucking way I'm moving into this or dealing with Pam after everything I just saw. I'd be like, Pam, you need to go back to fucking Kevin because he is perfect for you, and you need to move back into your little fucking weirdo bedroom in that house because that's where you belong. You're a psycho. Thanks for coming.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Again, I felt bad for him in that scene when they're all in the living room finding out about the cat and, you know, telling him about Jinx's tail and everything. But again, I think Pam, she didn't have to defend him, but she maybe could have like diverted some of the anger. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe because they were bullying him again. And it was like mob mentality. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I think, and she, again, she's a twit. I really think she should have, again, maybe not defended him, but maybe kind of diverted some of the anger or, you know, kind of
just stepping in and saying, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I thought Jack was going to hand out fucking golf clubs.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, you know, I'm sorry, but the airport scene made me laugh so hard when she's like, please step aside and wait for your road to be called. Like,
yeah.
Step off, bitch.
He's just like, what the fuck?
Take those little sticks out of your hair and clean out your ears.
That was actually, in my mind, that was some of the best comedy in the whole film.
Yeah.
The ridiculousness of the rules and regulations of the airline, and then his interaction with her and the look on her face that he actually bought back and refused to fucking fall in the line was perfect.
But I did like that when Jack came to the airport, he was finally like, okay, enough. And Jack was like, all right. You know what I mean? Like he finally kind of stood up for himself.
Yeah. The first time in the film.
Yeah. So good for him.
I'm surprised when Jack was standing outside Pam's door, she wasn't talking to Kevin like, yeah, he finally left. You know what I mean? Like, he finally left. Fucking, can I fucking catch an Uber over to your fucking mansion? We could play a little fucking volleyball. Maybe put on those shorts that Greg was in. Tony, end of the movie. What are you thinking?
It's the classic, I don't know, how do we say this? It's the classic dreamer kind of sequence where he's doing the fake karate move to the camera. I mean, Good stuff. Good stuff. The best you've seen comedically from him at this point, you know what I mean? Other than maybe the airport where he's like, how about some of this? You know, and it's like, come on, dude. You don't know karate, and B, you would never do that to the real person. You're only doing it to the camera because you know that by the time he watches it, you'll be gone, right?
Can you deal with that?
Exactly. It's almost like the internet today, because now you get to be the keyboard warrior in your mom's fucking basement. You can pretend like you're a fucking tough guy, and even though you don't, you couldn't get out of your own way if you get blown over at a stiff breeze. But yeah, I mean, good stuff. Good stuff. I liked it. And it's also to the idea that, like you said, Jack nods his head. Even though he doesn't like what he's seeing, he's like, the kid's giving it to me straight. That's all I ever really wanted from him in the first place. So,
I mean, I think at this point, this is more out of respect for his daughter. He sees that she's finally found the man that she loves, and he respects his daughter to the point where even if he thinks Greg is not good enough for her, he sees that he's hurt his daughter, which is nice at the end. But let me tell you, so at the end of the movie, I'm going to say Jack captures Greg at the airport and brings him back to the house of horrors, I assume at gunpoint, even though we don't see the gun. And we get a shotgun proposal. Oh, you're gonna propose. She's in there crying. You're gonna propose or you're not making it back to fucking Chicago, pal. Let's go. While Jack and Dina listen to the proposal upstairs like total weirdos. This movie is a total thriller, packaged as an innocent rom-com. But I'm not fooled.
Yeah, it's a James Patterson book. Yeah, right.
There it is. There it is. All right, that's it. That's our discussion on Meet the Parents. Let's head over to the recasting couch.
Mick, you okay?
Tony, you're funny.
I know. Thanks. I'm here all day.
You're a funny guy. I want to know one thing. I know we're going to recast. I just have a comment. I have a question for you, Tony.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm all ears. Please.
How come you don't give Delynn shit when she says rum, like when you give me shit?
Says what?
Room.
My wife does not speak the King's English. Unfortunately, she is from Mass and she speaks Mass. So she does not say room, right? The bedroom, the living room.
Rum.
She says rum. Rum is a drink you give fucking sailors. Goes well with Coke. Rum. I love her though. Regardless, I'll have a lodge, Mick. I'm gonna have a lodge.
Well, every time, so Des gives me the business about draws. Like, I'm going to put that in the draw. And he goes, the what?
Thing that pisses me off.
That's it.
The
Not a draw.
It's okay. She makes fun of me because I say the word plaza.
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 Let's go to
You
the
gotta have that
plaza
long
and get
A.
some scallops. Some
Going to the
scallops at
plaza.
the plaza.
The plaza. Plaza.
Yeah, car yard water. I got you. You guys don't pronounce words right. It's okay. We still
I'm
love
sorry.
you.
Okay.
We add R's where they don't belong, and we take away R's where they should be.
Yeah,
Yes.
you like to mispronounce vowels occasionally, but that's all right. All right, so recasting. Let's keep going.
We digressed back into Goodwill Hunting here.
There you go.
All right, let's recast this thing. In my opinion, this movie is perfectly cast. I don't think you could cast it much better. But I would replace Robert De Niro with Christopher Walken because he was the original choice for Jack Byrnes.
I like it.
Yeah,
Me too.
Lynn.
So I'm going to recast Owen Wilson. And because I've just seen the Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller shtick too many times. And I'm going to put in Alexander Skarsgård. And you would know him from True Blood. He was Tarzan. He's in Murderbot. He's awesome.
I don't
and
know any
he's
of those
awesome.
things you just fucking rambled
He's great.
off. I've
He
never
did
seen
great.
1 second of any of those fucking movies. Anything that like a normal person that's like not that might know him from.
those are the things he's been in, and everyone.
By
has
the
seen
way,
those.
Des,
Just you
he's a
haven't.
Skarsgård. There's like 4 of them. They're like the Baldwins. They're in a lot of shit. You got to get your head out of your
Skarsgårds
and check it out.
The fun fact is in Zoolander. You know how he's got the friends that end up dying in the fire? Alexander Skarsgård is one of those friends. So
Oh, which one?
he's the blonde.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he's good.
So you have seen him. See? You have seen
That
him.
would work. That would work. Tony.
I took the 2000s by the throat and shook it. I'm going to take Ben Stiller out, and I'm going to put Christian Bale in because there's nothing he can't do.
For who?
Just Christian Bale.
For who?
For Greg.
Oh shit, he's a little tough for Greg, isn't he?
No, you've got to see him in some other stuff. Jesus, I'm trying to think. What was
Does he use his Batman voice in this performance?
No.
Jack,
Dude,
I love your daughter.
Christian Bale is that guy who loses 40 pounds for a role so he can look more gaunt and drawn out, and he's perfect for anything. The guy's a fucking chameleon. He's great. And then I got to get rid of Terry Polo because she's a little passive aggressive and she's ditzy and she's cute, but she's not quite all that. So I took Charlize Theron because we need a killer. If she's really going to be Jack Byrnes' daughter, we need somebody who can definitely move and groove. And last but not least, I got rid of Owen Wilson as well and put Russell Crowe in there only because I need someone with well, if we're going to make him the fucking heartthrob, we got to have a heartthrob in the role.
Listen,
right?
this
purely
now is
sexual.
this is now an $80 million movie.
psychological thriller too.
Well,
I mean, you got
to
Russell
remember
Crowe.
this film did gross like $340 million
Yeah,
because it was very popular. As silly as the premise of it is, it did sell.
Those actors now it is that psychological thriller. You've got some serious hard hitters.
Yeah, well,
with
unfortunately, you don't have quite the script to back that up, but I like where you're going.
Mickey.
I would recast Pam's character and put in Drew Barrymore. And I would recast Ben Stiller and put in Jason Bateman.
Sure. Drew Barrymore works, and it's funny because Adam Sandler was also considered for the role of Greg Focker, and we know that those two work really well together on screen. So we could throw Adam in there as well.
As if we'd end the movie like that. Sure. Let's do the Scooby-Doo ending. Good call.
So good stuff. All right, let's head over to the alternate endings. Delynn, you said you got a good one today, right?
I think so.
I'm going to let you go last then so you can take us out with yours. I'll go first.
Okay.
In my ending, we see Greg drive away from the house, heading to the airport, but he never makes it there. Jack has one of his agents intercept Greg and bury him alive in a wooden casket where no one will ever find him. The car is completely wiped down, clean of any fingerprints, and Jack uses his FBI connections to bury the case once it goes cold. The final scene is Bob and Debbie's wedding reception, where we see Pam and Kevin kissing on the dance floor to the song Day by Day. There it is.
I love it when you use your cool guy voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You ready?
That's how this movie should have ended.
Lay it on us.
All right. In my alternate ending, Greg returns to Chicago without Pam after the blow-up. Before she returns, he meets a girl named Mary that he knew from high school, and he decides to leave Pam and focus on a future with Mary, despite the fact that she once had a relationship with Brett Favre. He likes him better than Kevin, at least. The end.
I like it. That's good. Nice integration. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, let's score it and rank it.
Tony, wait a minute. Tony, didn't you have an alternate ending?
I had an alternate ending, but it's essentially Jack gets unhinged. Instead of making friends, he winds up doing a little bit more like Des, but basically he loses his shit, kills everyone at the wedding except for the wife and the daughters, and says, "No one is good enough for my girls." But anyway.
That's like the end of a fucking creep show episode. No one fucks my daughter.
You were building it up to be a psychological thriller and a horror film, so I figured I'd go with the whole concept.
I'm fine with that. That's great. All right, so here's the spoiler. This is, in fact, my all-time favorite movie. I have seen this movie literally hundreds of times. I've never looked at it through this lens before, though, and it kind of changes the way I think I'm going to watch it going forward. I may have ruined the movie for myself, but this is my favorite. So for me, it gets perfect 5. I love the movie. It's macaroni and cheese for me. It's comfort food. I love to watch it. I'll watch it a million more times. Delynn.
I don't love it as much as you do. I don't hate it, though. It's better than your average movie. You know, you've got Ben Stiller giving his A game. You've got Robert De Niro being fun. So I'm going to give it a 2.78.
Little above average. Mikki.
I did not like it as much as you did. I had seen it like once before, and I didn't remember. I remembered a couple pieces with the cat, but overall, I was just, I didn't laugh as much as I had hoped I would laugh. I am going to give it but I have to give points for Bob. So I'm going to give it a 2.
A straight 2, rookie score.
2.
Tony, how did you see Meet the Parents?
I was similar to Mick. I think, unfortunately for me, it didn't age quite as well. I remembered it being more entertaining and more of a spectacle to kind of just take in. It has good bits. There's the bones are there. I didn't think it was fleshed out script-wise kind of enough to be really funny. You know what I mean? As you get old, you see the jokes coming from around the corner, and then they hit you, and you're like, yeah, haha. But the cast is great. De Niro is fucking De Niro. You can't ever deny that guy. There's not much he can't do. And he is the glue that holds the whole movie together. To me, it's a solid film, but it's nothing to write home to mom about. 2.25.
This is nostalgic for me, so I'm watching it through nostalgic glasses. This is a movie one of my best friends, my old best friends. We shared it in common, saw it at the theater, saw the whole franchise the day they would come out. I mean, so...
Right. And that's one other thing that kind of cuts me is that they even set up the sequel in the movie.
Oh, it's great.
No, it's not. It's
I
fucking
love the
weak.
sequel.
It's weak. It's no. Not to say that the sequel isn't good,
Yeah.
but it's the idea that they're like, oh, the parents, what can they probably are wonderful. Blah blah blah.
We'll have to meet the
them.
parents.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dude, come on, this is so cheese.
It wasn't exactly the end of the first fucking Back to the Future.
No,
quite that good.
Yeah, but yeah, because it's a totally different film. Yeah, I got you.
I couldn't wait though. All right, Delynn, add them up. Where does it land?
So it lands with a 3.0075. It lands at number 88, and it is right below Heat and right above Mama.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, way better. This should be in the top 10.
Now.
What?
No,
I think you've fallen and struck your head.
Okay. All right, there you go. So number 88. Next week on our sister podcast, Violent Vinyl Radio, we will be reviewing Asphalt Ballet's second studio album, Pig. And we're doing that for listener Kevin Kane, who requested it. So if you like hair metal, you like the 80s, you like the 90s, you like music, head over to Violent Vinyl Radio and check that out. We have a extensive library of episodes over there. Tony, Mikki, thank you for joining us like always. It's a lot of fun. I mean, what are we coming up on? What, 3 years? Is that right?
We're getting
I
there.
think 3 for me
Time
and
flies.
a year and a half or 2 for Tony.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's
Time
crazy.
flies when you're having fun.
Always
Yeah.
a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure.
Remember,
Yeah, we'll
Lost
pick-
Boys was my first one I did with you guys.
Was it
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
love that one. I want to rewind that one. Our audio was so bad. I'd really like to redo it.
Well, guys, if you want to hear us review a movie, you got something in mind that you think might be good for Dysfunctional Date Night with Mikki and Tony and Delynn and myself, you can leave a request on the YouTube channel or anywhere you are listening to this. And if we like it, perhaps we'll do it.
There you go.
Until next time, I just have one question for you. Hey, did you ever see that movie? See you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe.